Hello again, I'm Bob Weir with another notable figure in North Texas. My guest today is Dianne Edmondson, running for the Republican nomination for Denton County Commissioner in Precinct 4 in the March 6th primary. Thank you for being here, Dianne.
Thank you, Bob. Always a pleasure.
And if you would begin, please, by telling our viewers something about yourself, your education, background, experience, and so forth.
Gladly. Some of your viewers may remember me from being chairman of the Denton County Republican Party for 14 years. I retired from that a little over 2 years, or almost 2 years ago, and I got back into the political scene immediately with the Texas Federation of Republican Women, helping them start new women's clubs. Then this opportunity arose. Many people had asked me to consider running for this seat, and so I decided I would. So I'm back in full swing here with this commissioner's race. As far as my background, I feel I'm particularly qualified for this because I have a strong political background. As the county chairman, I interfaced with commissioners and all the other elected officials. I do so regularly, and I have good relationships with them. From a business standpoint, my husband and I started and ran a small business for nearly 20 years. It was very successful. I understand the budgeting process. I understand that sometimes you have to make hard decisions to live within your means, so on and so forth. So I've got two strong attributes for becoming the county commissioner.
And what role does a county commissioner play as a governing body in the county?
We play a very important part as a county commissioner. First of all, we set the county's tax rate for property tax. Right now, Denton County has the third lowest tax rate in the entire state, which I think is great. And my job, if I become county commissioner, is to make sure it goes even lower if possible, but for sure we don't want to make that go any higher. Another thing that we do is to look at the budget to determine who gets funded what. Everything from the sheriff's department, the constables. We also have an important function, Bob, in that we help subsidize the emergency services districts and fire departments in the small parts of the county, the unincorporated parts, for example, or the small towns who don't have their own fire department, for example. And that's very important because they can't tax their citizens enough to provide that. But we can help subsidize VFDs and other small fire departments. That becomes very important. If there's a fire, for example, at Robeson Ranch where I live, just a couple of weeks ago, there was a fire in the vacant pasture land, vacant except for cows, right next to Robeson, came within 100 feet of some houses.
Wow.
Denton responded immediately, but then we had all these other fire departments that we have a mutual aid agreement with, and we had Crum, and we had Argyle, and we had Justin, and it was wonderful to see these little departments come help us out. So that's one of the important things that the county commissioners do.
Thank God for our firefighters.
Oh, absolutely.
Can you tell us what the boundaries of Precinct 4 are?
Yes, I can, more or less. I was on the redistricting committee when we've redrawn these boundaries, and we have to look at population as well as landmass when we're doing that. Roughly, we go from Flower Mound on the southern end of Denton County, and we take the western part of Flower Mound, anything west of 2499. That snakes on up, eventually comes over and merges with 35. We go up through Denton, and we take the western part of Denton. And all along the way, we take in 15 other small areas such as Argyle, Justin, Ponder, Crum, North Lake, etc. So it's the western part of the county, not quite clear to Sanger.
Oh, well, then you'd be my county commissioner.
I hope so. I would love that.
All right, so let me ask you, what are some of the critical issues in the campaign, do you think?
Well, there are several, but the most critical issue, I think everyone would agree with this, is where the growth is going to come. The western side of the county is the only place left to really grow. Look at Frisco, that's really grown and taken over pretty much the eastern part of the county. This growth is the issue we have to deal with. And we need to deal with it strategically. We need to think about not just today, but tomorrow and next year and 10 years from now. Our population is going to boom even more so than it already has. And a good government entity like a county commissioner's court will think about that and plan for the future. In the meantime, we have to look at what's going on today. We have to make sure that we are looking at public safety when it comes to transportation, as well as the fire and police departments. But growth is what's fueling virtually all of the challenges that we have right now.
Yeah, tremendous growth. Yeah, I think we're the fastest growing county in the state or
Yes,
something like
in
that.
fact, we in Collin County, I think, are the two fastest growing in the entire country.
The country, wow.
So, yes, yes.
All right, can you tell us about some of the projects currently underway in the county?
We're doing a lot of road work with the state of Texas. We're also partnering with the city of Denton on some things and some other entities. We have a significant amount of road work going on right now, and anybody who has driven anywhere in Denton County is well aware of that. We're kind of the orange cone capital of the world right now, I think. We also need to be looking at the interior part of the county, maybe some roads that aren't quite so heavily traveled, but those people also have needs that we're going to need to address.
Okay, yeah, infrastructure is critical, and there's been a lot of new roads around, a lot of expansion of roads, and it's what a difference from just a few years ago. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
okay, how about this? Out of the 4 people running, you know, there are actually 5. There's 1 Democrat, but I mean those running for the Republican nomination. Out of those 4, why do you think you're the best candidate?
Well, to go back to my opening statement, Bob, I've got a unique combination of having run successfully a small business, understanding meeting a payroll, understanding staying within a budget, and the successful political experience of having been the county chairman for 14 years. This is a political position. A good, strong conservative voice on this court is very, very important. If we keep the Republican principles of small government, low taxes in place in Denton County, that benefits all of us because you probably know, right now Denton County has a AAA bond rating from both the bond agencies. Now what that means is when we have to go borrow money, for example, for roads or whatever, we get the lowest possible tax rate. Interest rate on that. And that's important to us as taxpayers to make sure that we continue this kind of good conservative management. One other thing, if I might add, that I think is important, talking about taxes, I brought a little chart that shows this is how much of our tax burden we homeowners and taxpayers pay, as opposed to this little bit, which is what corporations pay. So it's like 77% is what we pay, and 22% is what corporations and companies pay. I think that needs to be more balanced. And so one of the things I want to do is to try to appeal to companies to be moving here and to bring in more taxable businesses that not only provide taxes for us, but provide jobs for our children, our grandchildren. I'm used to dealing with corporations, big corporations. When I had my company, some of my clients included IBM, American Airlines, United Airlines, Manufacturers Hanover Bank. So I'm used to dealing with corporate executives at that level. And I think that that would be something that I could help do. I can certainly sell Denton County because I love Denton County and I've got a real passion for that. So that's something that I think makes me a good candidate.
I always feel thankful to be living here in Denton County. It is a
I do
beautiful
too.
place. Well, how about what would you say is the most important quality for a county commissioner?
Well, I think you have to be open to real two-way communication. And that's something that I mentioned in this little brochure. It's not enough for me to talk to you about what I'm going to do. I want to listen to you for you to tell me what you think needs to be done. So the two-way communication is extremely important. And then good communication skills between us and then out to the rest of the community.
Well, we're being grabbed by the clock as usual. That goes so quickly. You believe it's
does,
already
it does.
that. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think that people need to understand, I have lived in Denton County for most of my adult life. I love Denton County. I'm a native Texan. I've got the passion and the vigor to be a great county commissioner for us, and I hope that I will earn everyone's support. I'm the only Dianne on the ballot, so hopefully they'll
Only
remember
Dianne,
that.
that's right.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you, Bob. It's always a pleasure to be here.
And thank you, Diane, and good luck in the election.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for watching.